Okay, back again. Now, they say if you didn't do, they said about fathers, I guess it could say the same thing about mothers. Um, if you birth the baby and that's all you did, and you neglect the baby, then are you a mom? And where do you draw the line and stuff like that? So, a lot of people have done that, and a lot of people have done worse than that. I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe in killing a life for whatever reason. It's a blessing from the Lord. The Lord put us down here to procreate. He made us in His image, and we were called to procreate. And doing so, it didn't say anything about aborting children. Oh, I got pregnant because of whatever reason. And I do understand that when women are violated and raped and stuff like that, they say things like, oh well, I'm gonna abort this child because I don't want to have this guy's child. I don't want that baby growing in me. But truly, is it the baby's fault? No, it's not the baby's fault. The guy was wrong for doing that. I'm a woman, and a guy violates me, and of course I can't get pregnant anymore. But a guy wants to do that. It's horrifying. Have I been harmed in relationships? Yes, but again, it's the child didn't do anything to you know to that person. I mean, they didn't do anything to you. you know they can be given up for adoption. There's a lot of people that want to have babies and they can't for whatever reason. They can't. And that beautiful baby could be in a home with parents that will love them. And you might say, well, if I did something like that, would that make me a mom? Yeah, make you a caring mom, make you making a great sacrifice. I mean, people make sacrifices all the time. Some people make big sacrifices, some make little sacrifices. But that's a big sacrifice to give a life into the world out of the worstest circumstances possible, like rape and all that. And it's horrifying. I mean, being hurt, being hit. What I'm saying is, I mean, I got hit, and I understand it's just, but not to that point that other people have gone through. I mean, I've heard of what people have gone through. I mean, some people have gone through not a baby, but disease, and they have internal disease that like AIDS and from a rape, and some people, it's not a disease. It's just from the rape. They can't have any kids. They can't. So it's a lot. It's a lot of harm. Even though they have these women that so call themselves protecting other women, it's all political. It's not the same. It's just all political. If you see those women and they say, well, we care about women, they have women that care generally about women, but when you have these big groups, big giants groups, these government groups, they are not for you necessarily, but women think they're for them. Oh, they say, they bring up these guys that molest a woman a long time ago, And boys did foolish stuff, okay? They did foolish things. And you're like persecuted because you did something when you were 3.
Oh yeah, that dude. When I was 3 years old, he was 3 years old. He did.
Oh, okay. You know, there's a draw. We got to draw the line. We got to draw a line. You know, with those kids, a lot of kids did stupid stuff when in their teens, okay? They did a lot of stupid stuff in their teens, but I don't believe in persecuting someone who did stupid stuff in their teens. Come on, people. I mean, if you're young in college and all that stuff, you are persecuted for something. And the events have changed. People got older. People, you know, going on their way. And all this time, we want to bring it up. And I believe if you're in a political scene, you're in the limelight of people, then you know you want to be, and everybody knows their career choice. Hey, I want to be a congressman. And say you want to be a congressman at the age of 11. You say, yeah, I'm going to be a congressman. Well, you're going to be acting like you're a congressman or a lawyer or whatever at until you get to that point. Because there should be no scars. There should be no. And how many people can say testimony that they at 11? Not too many. Not too many. Even younger. Not too many can say, hey, you know what? I always want to be this, and this is what I am right now. Okay, not too many people can say that. Not too many people can say something. If they could, it'd be great. If they had a number of people that could say all that stuff like you make you're a unique person. But we speaking to the public. Public it doesn't always nice. So we have a life and we have an enemy, and the enemy is Satan. And you can finish college, you can be almost graduating and stuff like that. Your life, just because you finish college and you graduate and your life look promising, doesn't mean that you're ultimately debt free. You know, none of us are debt free. None of us are debt free. We're all gonna meet. We're all gonna go someplace. Our spirit. You know, we have 2 lives. Remember, 2 lives. And the flesh will stay here. The spirit has to go someplace. So you think with that degree you have, that's gonna save? It's not gonna save. A killer, if he wants to get you, he don't care one iota about that degree. He don't. You know, it's just you find it importance to you, but they don't care. Are there killers in the world? Is you sure? Yes, because we're all in depth in this sin. We have sin. Sin brings all this chaos and destruction and all this stuff. And this is what it does. You know, this is what sin does. But God has left us His book. He left us the Bible, and we should read it. We should read the Bible, go to church. You know.
Church is boring, and we don't want to go to church.
Well, okay. When I was in the Catholic church, when I was in a Catholic, I went to church and I thought it was the most boring. I mean, why did we come here? I was young, you know. I didn't understand. I understand there's a God. I was always in that. When I got home, my mom and dad says, there's a God. Go to church, there's a God. And no one could tell me that there was no God. I already knew there was a God. I was told this. I was a God. There was a God. Not me. But there was a God. And so this was told to me, just like a lot of things people believe, and beliefs are put upon you um, you know, to hate someone or hate a race or something like that, told over and over and over and over again. They believe that. But I believe there's a God and He's loving. He loved me. But always, when I was in Catholic, I just didn't understand when the from the picture book that they gave me. It was a book. Um, I mean, it wasn't a boring book, but it had different. Then kids play like, for you to understand about why sharing is loving and all this stuff. And I would look through the stories. I could just like open the book and I just say, yeah, I know that story. I know this story. I know it because I read it. I read the stories, and when I couldn't believe and understand that they had a lot of white drawings in the book, and only one black kid, and only one Spanish kid, and it was like, good night. And then they had a picture of God, right? It was supposed to be God, and He was white, just like the white kids. And I put that black kid and that Spanish kid into the mix. And said, man, he doesn't look like us. I said, how can he love us? He doesn't look like us. But that was me. I just couldn't understand that, and I was questioning that, and they don't make those books anymore. The last book I liked that they gave me was, this time they put 2 black kids in there and a Chinese and a Spanish kid. So now you have more races in there, and but they still had more white kids in there. So I was like, okay. But that's the last book, and then I guess there was a lot of offset for books like that. These days and age, you wouldn't be able to have books like that. There's no way you have books like that. But in my time, they had those books, and this is what I viewed. I said I just couldn't understand when they had those books like that. I couldn't understand why. How can He love me? And I think they had some black angels, one black angel, and they're trying to change things up, and trying to, yes, He loves you, and the nuns coming, yes, He loves you. And I'm like, really? This is who He looks like, Well, people would always like an image, they always put an image down there, and this is what in black churches Jesus is black, and in white churches Jesus is white. He looks white, and in Chinese church there's a Chinese Jesus. Okay, so everybody likes this image to look like themselves, but we are an image. Yes, we are an image of God. So we have to understand we are an image of God. And when you take as your own authority over your body, which is not your body really, because you can't name the time, the date when God decided you into the world, and you can't name the time and date when you're out of the world, unless you do something awful to yourself, like suicide, and you still don't have control over your senses. See, that's the mysticism. That's the trick that Satan likes to give to people. He likes to do that. He likes to make you believe that you have this control, like he told to Eve. Yes. Did he tell you couldn't? Really? And so he'll do this, and he'll question what God says. And you don't have the right. None of us do. If we knew the events to happen before we get up in the morning, because we know this, and God gave us that we know what's going to happen. He didn't do that. Because you think about the power what people would have if God gave them any more power than what they have. They would actually be like the Wild Wild West. You see a lot of fewer people until everyone is dead. But he didn't give that. He didn't do that. There is a God. And of course, God says, I'm right where I was before. I didn't move. You moved. We moved farther and farther away from the Lord. And the more and more we play like we know ourselves better than God knows, then we're going to get moved farther and farther away. And when we move farther and farther away, where are we going? Where are we going? We're going to a greater Aetist or some kind of reality. Do we go to this we have a vortex or something? We built this for ourselves. This is what we are. No, you go closer and closer to the devil. You don't want to go closer and closer to the devil. Okay, we don't want to do that. So we know that there is a Bible, and that's God's instructions for us, his instructions for us. Okay, so he wants us to get closer and closer to him because he loves us. We were made in his image of God. And someone else tells you another way, then they're lying. We had these couple, and I think we just came from church or something like that. I don't know, because we used to do things when our kids were little that we don't do today. We used to have a habit of we would just talk about that, feeding the ducks and taking the kids, and the kids would feed the ducks and stuff like that, and go downtown and feed them, and then we used to go to the bookstore, half price bookstore, and we used to just look up books that we can get for the kids, because I did homeschool my kids, and I used to like to pick up books. My husband like saying, well, maybe you should get this and all this stuff. So we were doing that, and this couple came to us, very nice couple, very nice. Was it a couple? Let me see. I think he eventually came later. But anyway, this guy was saying, there's another part. He says, do you know Jesus? And I said, yes, we know. And he said, but there's more. And I was like, okay, there's more. All right, more than knowing Jesus as my Lord and Savior. Said more. There's more. And it's almost like you have to go to in their church to actually, because we're with a church. We like our church. So, we didn't want to join another church. And we told him that, we go to this church. And he said, well, but there's more, He was telling us that as if there was a secret that we did not know, that's in the Bible that we did not know. Because in the Bible they speak in tongues, and he was saying that, do you know how to speak in tongues? And I said, no, we don't know how to speak in tongues. You're missing out, and you're missing that. Oh, really? Did not know that, and he was just stressing more and stuff like that, and we wanted to get away from the guy, and they have different religions that have their people are able to speak in tongues. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's anything wrong with it, but I don't think it's anything spiritually bounding, where if you don't know how to speak in tongues, you're not a Christian, I don't think there was anything like, if there was something like that, then hey, we gotta speak in tongues, but they didn't say that in the Bible. To Jesus is our Savior. That's what it says. He is our Savior. Only through him there is heaven that we actually can go. He has our ticket, in other words. He has our ticket. And of course, we can't go to heaven with our sinful self. I told you that sticky stuff, that sin that, can't be washed away with the greatest of detergents. And it can't be washed away by doing good. You know, it's your it's just something you need a greater, and one, the greatest one in the Bible, it says, is through Jesus Christ, God's Son. Remember that God came down, well, came in the form of man. Well, in the womb, not man, and just came standing here and say, yeah, I'm here. I'm Jesus. No, he went through. Imagine that. If you will have a great authority. Would you want to use this great authority in the most vulnerable place? And let me tell you, when you're pregnant and you're having a baby, and you have a baby, you carrying a baby inside your womb, you're in a vulnerable situation. You're vulnerable to so many things. You can fall, and then that can hurt you. That can hurt that baby. And they had this issue with the hot dogs. You couldn't eat the hot dogs for pregnant women, and they say don't eat the hot dogs because that could cause harm to your child and all that stuff. You're invulnerable what you eat, what you drink. You're invulnerable to places you go. Some of the places you go is unhealthy, for that child and for yourself. So you're vulnerable to these things. So as a pregnant woman, you're not just sitting all day and not moving and eating and stuff like that, because that could be harmful too. But you're in a vulnerable position. You can't run faster than a person who is not with child. You ever go outside and you have there's the ground, the grass. You have craters in the in the grass. You have craters. You have a chunk here, and then it's low, and then a chunk, and then low, and chunk. You have all kinds of stuff in your way. It's not a smooth ground, that you're walking on. So you're very vulnerable to a lot of stuff. So he came in that form. He didn't just appear just like that, where he's got steady. He's a great athlete, and he can push up 1,000 push-ups. I'm doing it wrong, but excuse me. And pull-ups, and he can do 2,000 of those. He came, as a man, because no average man can do that. Okay, but he came at the vulnerable position inside a mom, in the womb of a mother. And that's love. Okay? Jesus felt what you felt whenever the baby is going through, inside their womb. Maybe they're saying like, oh, I'm in a wonderful place. I'm growing inside this belly and everything. And, they got some women that are in abusive relationships and they're pregnant. How comfortable is that? That's not very comfortable. That's not a very comfortable place. Nope. But he was in this place. And where Mary and Joseph was placed, it wasn't like they had cars or they had, taxis or something like that. And of course, the animal that, is heard of mostly is donkeys, And donkeys can be very, very mean, Okay? A donkey can kill you. But anyway, this is your transportation. And of course, you don't picture a donkey as a thoroughbred, because he's not a thoroughbred, okay? He's going slow. All right. Um, and so, again, Mary, this is their form of transportation. Okay, and most of the form of transportation is your Tom and Jerry's, your feet. And so you had to go with your feet and walk, because sometimes the treasury, there's rocks a lot in where they stayed. It wasn't like a smooth, like I tell you, the grounds that we have here. They have to do a lot to put houses and stuff. They have to do so much to the ground before they build houses. But Mary and Joseph, they had to walk on these rocks and all these things, and there were grassy areas, but like I said, it's not even, and you couldn't take the donkeys on all these, ride on it without going in rock. It's a donkey. you know it can fall and fall on you. So again, it was very harmful. It wasn't a paradise, you know, for pregnant women back there. It wasn't. Um, so again, a most vulnerable place for is inside the womb. It's vulnerable because when you're pregnant, or pregnant woman, she's carrying life. She's carrying life. She's carrying maybe 2, 3, in there, and that she has to be very, very careful. She has to be, when you see those people that don't want to, because they hate life, where you get that from? Destroy it. Isn't that mean? I mean, you're here because your mom and dad put you here. You're here because she said, I choose to have this baby. God give me this baby. I'm choosing to have this child. Okay? I choose to have this baby. God gave me this baby. I choose that. If it would have been the same choice and the mom said, you know what, I'm going to have an abortion, then you wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. You'd just be, I don't know where you'd be. You wouldn't be here. Because they made the right choice. And I bet you're saying, yay, they made the right choice, but I'm
Gonna make this choice because this baby's ruined my life.
okay. The baby didn't, that's ruining anyone's life. The baby didn't say, yeah, I want to get with this person and ruin her life. And when there was a rape involved, people say it's unwanted, and we get a lot of things we don't want. We get a lot of stuff we don't want. I know this thing is kind of crooked. And we get a lot of things we don't want in life. We don't want bugs, okay? I don't know. There might be people out there that love bugs. Love all kinds of bugs. They have bugs in their home. They play with the bugs and whatever. And I don't want to know you. But I'm not a bug lover where I just say, yeah, I like that bug. I love me some bugs. There's, of course, like I said, there's a snake in the Bible. There's a snake. And of course, there's always an enemy toward a woman. Because this is almost like a remembered. I slash the woman smashes with her heel on the head of the snake. Heel. I'll give you a heel snake. I'm going to say, now some women I've seen love snakes. And it's like playing with the snake, and this snake has a small brain. This snake is not like, yeah, you're my friend. I'm going to save your life. And probably people will probably have these testimonies to say, yeah, when you talk about my snake saved my life. Okay, that's fine. But again, snakes have a small brain. You're not his friend. You're not his friend. But some people, like I said, the animals does not share in this that we have with God. This covenant that we have. He does not. The animal does not share in it. Even if an animal start talking to you, if my dog started talking and understand everything I'm saying, they still don't have a covenant. They still don't have a covenant because in the Bible, no, they don't. Now my dogs understand some words and like go, stop, food. And understand their names. Understand some phrases, um, and names of the people in the house, stuff like that. They know limit of stuff, uh, but they don't share a covenant with us. This cat I don't want is share a covenant with us. Um, they they don't know that you don't like it. Of course, my dog should know. Our dog, well, my son's dog should know that we don't like when it goes poopy and pee in the house. Okay, it's not where I want you to be. And my other dog, we train her, and she does well with going out and coming back in. But the only problem is we have now the doggy door. If you try those doggy doors, you just change their whole concept of everything. And going outside is like, okay, how do I get through to go outside? Because there's a doggy door now. So anyway, and it's just all kinds of changes. Now, does that dog want that change? No. There's a lot of things that come our way that we don't want, and we still have to deal with. It's a lot of things out there, and we can just think in our head the stuff that we have to deal with, and we did not invent this or put this in our life intentionally. Because if anything, we'll try to take it out of our lives. But it shows my face all the time. I'm looking at myself and I'm like, good night. But anyway, we don't choose, This is, okay. We don't choose. It's not our world. Let me say, this is our world. No, it's not your world. But you live in this world. And when we live in this world, people realize, that if I want to survive, there must be some rules. And the rules are don't kill. Oop, there I go. Don't kill. Don't steal. If you steal and a person catch you, they have a right to get you. You don't have you've lost your rights right there when you go into someone's home and take their things, or even violate their family. You lost your rights. But we have laws to stop these things from to put a stamp, where you can't do this, and you draw a line, if you will. Just draw a line. That's a law. Step over this line, you broke the law. There's rules. We don't like rules, but we have to obey these rules. And nobody likes rules. Some people like to, hey, I just want to do wheelies in the freeway, show my style, show my stuff, And a lot of people do that, and the police finds out, and the police chases them, and no, you can't do wheelies on the freeway. No, you can harm others, and you can harm yourself. But we can't do what we want to do in this world. This world is just not yours. This is like, you can almost say that this earth being alive is a gift. You can say it's a gift. Life is a gift. It's amazing that, that people are still having the ability from all the depths of babies that didn't, was unwanted, and people took that in their hands as they thought they could take it in their hands. Uh, it's amazing that God bless you. It's amazing that God enables us, to still have things and still have wonderful, beautiful babies. He could take that away. God bless you. And he could take that away from us, but he didn't take it away from me. He can do whatever he wants. He's God. And, he can save who he wants to save. He can do that. He's God. He's loving, yes. You got to obey him. You can't just go there and say, yeah, I'm going to do my own thing. I don't appreciate this, Lord, so I'm going to do my own thing. Okay? I'm going to do it. And that's not love. That's not saying I love God, That's not saying I love God. Now, God puts stuff in our life. But, again, if some people find it hard to believe that, what God does, even if it's horrible to us, is for our good. You hear that? What he does is for our good. Being laid off from a job, being not able to work because of this coronavirus, you say this is what? Not for your good. It's not for my good. How can this be for my good? And other people probably will stand with you and say, no, this is not for our good. This corona thing is not for our good. But remember, this is God's glory. And it's not like God didn't know about the corona. I don't know why it happened in such a time as this. But it's happened. Did it kill some people? Yes. So did the flu. So there's other things like cancer and other problems that we go through, heart disease and everything. Yes, we still go through those. Crime, some murderous person that don't like you because, you're there, or just hate you because you said something, or you looked at them the wrong way, or you know somebody and they shoot you and you're dead. You still have those in the world that hadn't stopped because of corona. As